All right, guys, before we get started, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, all that good YouTube stuff. I'm in the process of swapping Floyd roses and just thought I would make a video because I've seen several of these Floyd Rose videos. And, there's plenty of them out there to tell you the difference between the different Floyds. So basically, this is the Floyd Rose 1000 that was originally on my Charvel Henrik Donegay. And I bought a original Floyd Rose. I think this is the 1984 or something like that special edition. The one thing that you need to know about this tremolo is it doesn't come with these posts. It comes with those old school 1980s flathead screwdriver posts that you can't really use on any modern guitar. They're a complete waste. So I don't know why they would even put that in the box. So luckily I'm using the posts that were on this guitar to begin with. So, everything on this one's supposed to be, steel and all that good stuff. Well, these are the newer ones that, they're not made in Germany anymore. They're not made by Schaller anymore. These are made in North Carolina, where I'm from. And, I can tell a huge difference. And I'm not sure if I really like this bridge. Of course, it's, as far as the materials, it's supposed to be superior to this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on this guitar. And I'm going to put this one on one of my Bones builds. Speaking of that, a couple of my Bones builds have these Floyd Rose specials on them. And I see guys blasting these things on YouTube. There was one guy that had some foul language in the title of his video that said, a Floyd Rose special is a piece of, what I'm getting at. And, I watched the kid's video. It was just a matter of fact that the kid didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know how to set one up. He didn't know how to adjust anything on it. He was just a clueless idiot. But he's blasting this tremolo. I'm going to be perfectly blunt and honest with you. I have never had a problem with a Floyd Rose special. As a matter of fact, I've had less problems with a special than I have with an original. I've had a huge problem with these originals having the little blocks inside the saddles getting stuck inside the saddle, and you have to pry it out with a screwdriver and pretty much ruin a saddle, or they're just permanently stuck in there and they ain't coming out. They've swollen up, they've rusted in there, and I've had more problems with these. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. These newer Floyd Rose originals have shorter, as far as height goes, saddles, which I love. I love that part because you can actually, it gives you more movement if you have a guitar that is, this Floyd is all the way down to the body and the blocks are still too tall, then you can't properly adjust the height of the Floyd. So it's really cool to have these blocks where they're a little bit shorter, so you can always raise this thing up, but it's only going to go down so far. So the shorter blocks really help out. There's one thing that I really hate on these new Floyds, and let me go ahead and grab this real quick. So the old Floyd part for the brass fine tuners looks like this. They're bigger than your normal fine tuner. If you look at these on the newer ones, they're smaller, more like a regular Floyd Rose special or something like that. It's got the smaller ones on there, but they're not cut the same. These have no movement in them whatsoever. They fit perfectly on any 1000 series or any original Floyd Rose. But these, this is the most expensive Floyd Rose you can buy right now. And it comes with these brass fine tuners on it, and every one of them has got looseness in it. You can't really tell it right now because I've got this block back behind here, which is pushing up on here. But as soon as you take that pressure off, there's a lot of play in these things. which you do not have in the old school ones. The other deal is, as you can see, I ordered these and they came like these new ones. And I tried to put these in another guitar, and the threads, it goes in perfect, but there's just a lot of play in these new brass fine tuners versus the old brass fine tuners. So I'm really worried that these new Floyds are not really, the same quality that they used to be. I'm sure this is going to be a great Floyd Rose. Basically, if you really know how to set up a guitar and you know how to adjust everything and you know how to properly use one of these things, all three of these will work for you perfectly fine. It's just a preference of, these are made in Korea and they're made out of, more of like not really a pot metal, but an alloy. And then these are made out of, an alloy and some steel. They're still made, I think, in Korea. And then these are the newer ones that are like all steel. And, you get what you pay for, but are you really getting that big of a difference? Now, I will tell you, you can take a Floyd Rose Special, buy these blocks for like $80. You can put a brass block on it. You can change out this bottom block for a brass block. You can modify one of these. You can change out whatever you don't like about it. Time you do that, you're up into the price range for one of these. The other cool thing is Floyd Rose is now offering the 1000 series on their website direct to consumers. That the 1000 used to only be available as an original part for different. They made that for manufacturers so they could have a cheaper alternative to a Floyd Rose original. So basically, it's a Floyd Rose original, but it was made in Korea versus Germany. And these are great. I've never had a problem with one of these. If you buy a new $3,500 Washburn N4 in a Bittencourt, it's got a Floyd Rose 1000 on it. There's nothing wrong with it. Put a brass block on it for $30 and roll. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of give my opinions on these new made in the USA Floyds. I know the blocks are made in the USA. They haven't really said anything about where the base plates and stuff are made, but one thing I noticed is the base plate on this new Floyd Rose original is thinner than this Floyd Rose 1000, which, I thought they would be the same specs, but it seems like the specs on these originals have changed substantial. I definitely like these fine tuners over these new ones that they made. You can even tell they're made out of like a different type of brass. They're darker and they're smaller, and when you put them in the hole there and you have them tightened down, there's some play involved in it. So yeah, there's my 2 cents on Floyd Roses. These people that are bashing Floyd Rose Specials are just idiots. There's nothing wrong with these things. Yeah, I'm sure that there's a tone difference between the metal this one's made out of and the metal this one's made out of. But who's to say that that's better? So let's get into something real quick. This is a black Floyd Rose, chrome Floyd Rose. Do you think a plain metal Floyd Rose and a black powder coated or painted Floyd Rose, whether it be a special, a 1000 or an original, do you think that there's going to be a tone difference between the black painted version and the chromed version? Let me tell you something. There is a huge monster difference. The ones that are black are a lot darker in tone. They are a lot smoother sounding. The chrome ones are a lot brighter, a lot more upfront in your face. And it has to do with what they are actually made out of. Also, it has to do with if they're painted or not. There's a big difference between a black Floyd Rose and a chrome or a gold Floyd Rose. These Floyd Roses that don't have any black paint or powder coating or however they do it sound totally different than one that has it. And that's one thing I just wanted to point out real quick. Everything on these Floyd Roses make a difference. But is it a big enough difference to pay $380 versus $98? Like I said, I've never had a real problem with a Floyd Rose Special. They stay in tune fine. You hear people say, well, they don't stay in tune. Well, maybe you should learn how to set your guitar up. But there's nothing wrong with that. I've never had one that won't stay in tune. The only problem I've ever had with a Floyd Rose Special is the black painted ones like this, the strings slipping out and you uh, are having strings pop out of the saddle. And that was only on one guitar. I think when you have these chrome saddles, it locks the string down a lot better. But other than that, it's the only problem I've ever had. Floyd Rose makes a great product, whichever price point you want to grab. I would recommend all of them, just depending on your personal preference and what you want to be on your guitar. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with a Floyd Rose Special, a Floyd Rose 1000, or original Floyd Rose. But I can go ahead and tell you this: our new original Floyd Rose is not the same as the old one. You can just tell when you got it in your hand, it's really heavy. It feels great. I'm sure it's great quality. It's probably even better quality, but it is a little different. So that's my 2 cents on Floyd Rose. And thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you have a fantastic day and stay positive. We'll see you.